tripping. He wants me to ask for my brisket back. You know I wouldn't trip.
What brisket?
You know, the brisket I left at your house, man.
That's my brisket, punk.
Here we go.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast Grab 'em in the Brisket. Appreciate you guys tuning back in. First, right off the bat, I want to go ahead and give you the email address so you guys can actually interact with us. Send us your questions, thoughts, corrections, whatever we kind of fuck up. We'd love to hear from you guys. And that's going to be grab'em, that's GRABEM, in the brisket at gmail.com. And hey, let's just jump right into it. Well, first, let's introduce the rest of the guys right here. Well, actually, reintroduce.
John here.
Oh, okay. There's John.
Hey,
there's John.
I'm here.
That's Jan and Alden over there.
Yep. I am present. As
Okay.
well.
We're all here.
Yep.
Hey.
Yep. Awesome. Hey, I was
Okay.
trying to be quiet through the intro, and it's like, man, when you jump in, you
Yeah.
know?
Can we talk now?
Is
Can we
it
talk
good? Is it good? So,
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's going to take us a while to try to figure out how we're going to intro, and I think every one of them's going to be different.
well,
So.
I've got a cure. It's ice cold Coors Light,
Nice.
right?
Silver Bolt.
Silver Bullet gives you a little liquid courage. As you know, we're talking over each other a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, good.
I don't agree with that very much, but okay. Cold beer's cold beer, though.
It is.
So it's been a few days since we've recorded our first podcast. When you guys listeners take a look at it, it's probably going to be a week apart or so. But hopefully, we're learning as we go. So hopefully we get better and better, and probably with the help of all you guys out there, we'll certainly keep striving to bring you the stuff that you guys want to hear.
Exactly. Yeah, give us the feedback. Email also. We're on Twitter. Grab the brisket. And where else? Our Instagram.
Instagram.
Grab them in the brisket.
Okay. Sweet. Hey, we're all over social media. I mean, you can't miss us. So let's get into, how's y'all's day been? Everything been good?
Yeah, it's been great. Lovely weather we're having in Houston. I think 2 days ago the humidity level was around 70%, 68, which was pretty bearable for this time of year. And now I feel like it's a sultry 100% again, which I think we kind of capped on that last time we were out here. So yeah, feeling pretty. Tonsils are feeling good. Throat's feeling good. Yeah,
Nice.
That's just
nice
facetious.
and lubricated there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So,
Awesome.
Cool.
I do want to jump in. Last episode, we were kind of making fun of John about his phobia of frogs. And so I did a little research, and I was trying to search find out what the actual phobia of frogs was called.
So that is a thing.
It is a thing. I mean, it's widely known, and a lot of the stuff, and I think John probably looked it up himself, and I'm not really sure how you pronounce this thing.
Well?
It sounds like it's pronounced rainy day phobia, and it's a fear of frogs. I could be wrong on that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pronounced something close to that. I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people just say fear of frogs. So sorry, John. We weren't trying to make fun of you. We'll help you get through this.
They were definitely trying to make fun of me.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, and I was doing some research. I was like, man, let me see if I can just find some stuff that kind of.
Did you like the Ninja Turtles?
Those are turtles.
It's an amphibian, man. I was just seeing if you was on your toes.
Yeah, it's not a fear of turtles. Yeah, those things are nice and slow and.
Not that slimy.
Yeah, played karate and all that stuff. But,
Okay. Fair enough.
let me tell you how my day went. My day was kind of shitty a little bit, and then it's still not horrible, but I'll tell you this kind of little backstory of my commute home. And I come across the paths of this gentleman driving this white Nissan Altima quite frequently on my way home, when we must have pretty much the same work schedule, getting off at 5 o'clock and then heading towards where we live at. We take the same side streets and trying to skirt traffic and all that stuff. So when we hit over here, and these guys are familiar with this side of town that we live in Pearland Parkway or whatever, so you kind of cut off the feeder of the road into a side street, you wrap around, and then you bypass all that traffic at light. And so I've ran into this guy probably about 4 or 5 times, and the first 2 times he's just straight up just jackass, and just this is the kind of guy that just skirts through gas station parking lots, almost running over, killing people just so they can.
Is that frowned upon?
Yeah, damn it, John, that skirts through just so they could save that extra 15 seconds that they don't. I mean, maybe it's emergency the first time. I don't know. But after freaking 5 times, I'm like, I'm getting kind of tired of this jackass. And so, and it's always we pull up to a 4-way stop, and I stop, and then I do a slow roll, taking a left. He's right behind me on my ass, doesn't even stop at the stop sign, jerks over to the oncoming lane, bypasses me, takes me over, and then speeds off. And I'm just like, this fucking asshole. I mean, so I'm like, okay, one time, he's got to be somewhere in a hurry. Whatever. I just blew it off. I was like, I'm not going to let you ruin my day. I'm good. And so, shit you not, dude, probably like another, I don't know, 2 weeks later, there he was again in my rear view. And I'm like, no.
Not happening.
Not happening,
Not
sir.
on my watch.
Not
Yes,
happening,
sir.
sir.
That's good.
So I immediately, as soon as I turned left, I just gunned it. And I just gave all 8 cylinders that my truck had. And he had the same idea to try to pass me up. And his little, probably 6-cylinder, 4-cylinders just could not keep up. And I was like, yeah, big F you. Then I ran into him again yesterday. I mean, actually today. And it's just, he totally wasn't even paying attention to the guy. And I don't know why it just irks me so bad.
Gotcha.
He got me again. And then he gets up to the thing and he cuts into a parking lot because the street that he was wanting to go on had about 2 cars ahead of it. And then he cuts in, almost runs over somebody, jumps onto the parkway, Pearland Parkway, and then boom, he's gone again. I don't know why I let that get me all frustrated, but hey, that's how my day's been so far. I hope to see that guy again, and I'll give him the big thumbs up next time I see him.
That's brutal.
The thumb up with
That
the
is
middle
so.
finger.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
always a thumbs up, man. I'm not
It's
trying
classy.
not trying to get like shot.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's certain things you can do with this, right? Being classy is one of them, but I think we need to maybe escalate this just a little bit, just a tad, right? Maybe just go slow. Maybe go slow this next time, right? Make sure you can't even get to the stop sign. Maybe you break down.
Yeah, he was old.
Oh, he might be
Goddamn old.
might be like diabetic, lactose intolerant, or
He needed
who
his
knows?
insulin.
Yeah,
Maybe he's
he
just
might have like a colostomy bag. I don't know, man. There's a lot of
Who
things you
knows?
be doing. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta get home.
he's got to pick up his grandkid from
Yeah.
daycare or something. I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah.
So let's just give him
Does
a
he
break.
have
just
any-
let him pass you with no regard, right?
Yeah.
And then let him go into oncoming traffic. He's putting his own life in jeopardy for one. And then sooner or later, karma's going to step in, and then it's going to take care
I
of
keep
this for
waiting
you.
for Karma to step in, and
It's going to happen.
Does he have any body
It's gonna
damage
happen.
on his car already?
no, nice and clean new vehicle.
So he has not had a wreck yet.
Nope. Mm-mm.
So he has not met that fate yet.
Yeah, no. So maybe if one of you guys,
And trust me, I don't want anybody
listening
into
in
a wreck,
the,
but
Pearland area might know that their dad just needs to slow down a little bit and drive carefully.
Old guy, white Ultima. That's what we've got.
The Nissan Rogue, I think. What's the small?
I thought you said Ultima.
What's the step down? Did I say Ultima? I may have said Ultima, but it's the small SUV.
that's an SUV.
Yeah, I don't know.
Juke.
Of course,
Might
it's
be
blue.
smaller than the Rogue.
Juke?
Shit,
yeah,
I
it might
don't
be
know.
the Juke.
Nissan Juke.
Yeah, I am so just blinded with rage that
License plates are
I can't pay attention after that.
LC46YN. We're coming after you, man. You're
That's-
dead.
That's probably
That's
somebody's
probably
actually
like
licensed.
That's
Yeah,
not true.
yeah.
That's actually probably somebody's license plate.
That's just
I'm
kidding.
sure it is.
That's just kidding. That's my license plate. So that's good.
Let's jump right into it and go over a few topics that I came up with this, and we'll start off. Okay, so I'll give you kind of a heads up. So we're going to talk a little bit about pellet grills, pellet smokers, and their use in barbecue competitions. Whether you guys think it's fair to use them or
I'll just say Jan is a huge fan of pellet grills in general.
Lies.
So I mean, yeah, we'll get into that discussion because I mean, we definitely got pros and cons, and we got people for and against. So
Well, it's just letting everybody know you're talking about competition at this point,
yeah,
right?
this is in competition. Yeah,
Not at home.
Using it at home, great, fantastic. I mean, it's is what it is.
I'm probably the biggest antagonist there is on the competition pellet smokers we probably have in the group. Yeah, I guess we can get into that.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll get into that. Well, I'll leave it up to you guys. Y'all want to get into that discussion, or do y'all guys want to talk about the 22 signs your cookout sucks?
Let's go cookout sucks for right now. I like that.
Yeah, let's
I'll
ease
take
into
that for
this.
400
Yeah.
bucks.
Well,
dude,
let's do
for
that.
sure.
Okay, so right off the bat, the word cookout, I was trying to do a little research, the meaning, because we don't really, here in Texas, we don't really say, hey, we're having a cookout. Hey, we're inviting you to a cookout. I mean, it just, that doesn't sound normal to me. Usually it's like, hey,
It sounds like
inviting
hot
you over.
dogs and,
Yeah.
and hamburgers.
Well, and that's what I was trying to get to. It's like we usually like invite you over for a barbecue. Hey, we're gonna barbecue. Come on over. And so some of the stuff that I was looking up, and it was like the definition between a cookout versus a barbecue is like a cookout is more just. I mean, you're doing burgers and dogs. You're doing something that just takes probably 15, 20 minutes to throw on a grill.
Sure.
Barbecue would be more like you're doing something low and slow, something that's going to take a couple hours to put down. So, and that just kind of, I don't know if you guys have any opinions on that, whether you that's
No,
you
I
think
mean, I
that's a
agree with you
regional
100%.
thing, or
Because you think about what's coming up this, this Thursday, this 4th of July, there's going to be a lot of people cooking out, basically just cooking wieners and patties, just for different types of buns. It's not so much of as barbecuing, as you would say, you know what I mean? And I agree 100%. There's a huge difference between cooking out and barbecuing.
I would 100% agree. I think if somebody invites me to their house for a barbecue and I show up to hot dogs and hamburgers, I want to leave already. That sounds bad or what? I get me all hyped up. I come here to have some slow cooked barbecue. I want some pulled pork. I want some brisket. I want 3-hour-long chicken. And you're telling me now I get a 15-second hot dog on some hot coals? I don't know.
yeah.
I'm a little jaded probably.
Yeah. I've never heard. I mean, I guess I've heard the cookout term. I've never used it. I consider that like dogs and burgers it's grilling. We're going to be grilling. We're not going to be.
Or
I don't know if
grilling,
cooking
yeah.
out.
Grilling's
Yeah,
probably a good
okay,
We're
word, too.
grilling or barbecuing.
Yeah.
I don't know about cooking out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it may just be kind of something that's subjective to where you're from and
Regional.
yeah,
Yeah.
and more we're in the South, and maybe that's just we refer to. We're having a barbecue, not necessarily we're eating barbecue. You know what I mean? Have you heard that terminology? I was like, using it as, what would you say, a verb as opposed to a noun? But let's get into this first one, and we'll go right off the bat. Okay, so
this is, again, just recap. This is what? This is 20.
this is 22 signs your cookout sucks.
Nice.
That's a lot of signs.
Yeah,
Nice. Let's do this.
Yeah, and we probably
Say
won't hit
cookout.
your cookout.
Okay.
Sucks, and we probably won't hit everything on this list. But we'll just give it a gander. There's more wine than beer. I mean, if you show up to a barbecue,
A cookout. Show up to a cookout, though.
That means
Cookout.
there's more women than men, for
It
one
also
thing.
means they're probably doing a lot of fish.
I like fish. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm okay with fish, but more wine than beer?
more wine than beer.
That's
Yeah,
not
and it
good.
says, and I'll read you the little excerpt that it has
Chicken.
here. It says, "Nothing says hot summer day like a full-bodied warm red wine." It's like, this is the last time your girlfriend writes the guest list. Well, it says it's starting to look like Bastille Day, not Independence Day.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I don't know what
Yeah.
that means.
For sure.
Yeah. Bastille Day is, I had to look it up myself. It was like the celebration of French.
Yeah, it's a French.
A French celebration.
Okay.
And it's 95 degrees, 100 degrees, and you're drinking warm wine.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
it's
that
just,
just does not sound.
that's kind of like
refreshing
you're
at
just,
all.
I'm going to take a hard pass at that. Yeah. You roll through the house, you just give it like a once go around, like just straight out the door.
All right.
Yeah.
Get in the car. We're leaving.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we're not trying to be, barbecue or beer or snobs, so to speak, but I mean,
We're just giving our opinions.
Yeah,
for sure.
Honest
I
opinions.
don't hate wine, but
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want it with my barbecue.
Well, I'm not trying to drink 18 of them. That's the difference, right? I mean, I had 18, but let's say
Yeah, you
let's
probably
say a
died
good
if you
nine,
did that.
9 or
Yeah.
10 beers, right? I mean, nobody drinks.
well, I'm probably like, do you have some like oranges and strawberries and fruit that we can just probably mash up and turn this wine into some sangria or something?
That sounds
Right.
good. I can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so number 2 on this list, and this is in no particular order, the kid to adult ratio is staggering towards the kids.
Yeah, that's a good party. It's 30 minutes in. You bypass the food, and then you probably thank the mother, the father, the 3 adults, and then you leave. Right?
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, and
That's
it's
not a good
it's yeah. In the little story, it says that it's looking more like Chuck E. Cheese, not a barbecue.
Well, it's not a barbecue at all. It's cookout.
Okay, so far I've been
Okay,
safe on these last two,
correct,
right?
Correct.
So anybody here fell victim to that one?
Having more kids at there,
Cookout.
yeah, I'm sure I have. I have a lot of kids.
I mean, we go to
Yeah,
John's
like
all
most
the
of
time
my
for
events
barbecues.
have more kids than adults. I'm sorry. Most of the events here have more kids than adults.
Okay, so you got the next one is like nobody brought anything
But they're kids.
except beer for themselves.
And they're kids.
Yeah, they brought beer for themselves. They brought their kids. Then don't be that guy that shows up to the cookout with your 30-pack of Busch Light, thinking that that's going to be equivalent to choking down 2 or 3 burgers and a brat and mac and cheese and potato salad, and then piecing out. So I mean that was just kind of my 2 cents on that. But there's 22 of these guys on this list, so let me just run through. Y'all just kind of soak it up, and then once I get through it, just kind of pop off what you think, whatever comments comes to your brain. There's liquid smoke on the condiment table. We got the burgers are all the pre-formed frozen kind. Everything tastes like lighter fluid. There's actually no grill. Veggie burgers outnumber real burgers 3-1. Homemade potato salad is still in the shape of a can. The grill itself is a George Foreman. The chef's specialty is hot dog.
Nice. Nice.
Let's see here. Some a-hole brought an acoustic guitar.
What?
Some Alvin hole.
Alden? Have you been any good cookouts lately?
The grill master's secret barbecue sauce is ketchup. And then somebody invited Rick again. They kind of fizzled out there.
Where the hell is Rick?
Damn Rick.
Damn Rick.
It keeps fizzling.
I would say I'm not totally against frozen patties. I like them sometimes.
Unless Rick's doing it. I mean, I don't know. But
Yeah, if Rick brings his guitar, I mean, shit.
it might be at his house.
What do you call it? Trifecta? You got to kill
Yeah.
Rick now?
Is this Rick's potato salad
His
as well?
guitar, his 30-pack of natty.
I'm just
Natty
going to
Light.
first off just say I didn't even know potato salad came in a can.
Yeah. I got the first, I guess, more, I was like a tub maybe? Or like
Right.
but a can?
Right.
Hey.
I mean, obviously they don't have like an HEB around here or something.
I've been buying it all wrong, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. That is just weird. All right.
Yeah, what's the shelf life on that?
It's got to be at least a year.
Probably like about 5 years or so.
Yeah, it ain't right.
No. All right. So another article I ran across, and this is probably the last one that I kind of bring up. 5 signs that you're at a bad barbecue joint.
Let's see if they can guess some of these ones.
Anybody guess the 5 signs that you're at a bad barbecue joint?
I could only get one earlier.
There's no barbecue pit.
That's one.
Boom. Okay.
I would say almost like being maybe in a strip center.
No.
Well, that might coincide with no barbecue pit. I mean,
Okay.
if they're in a strip center, they might not have a pit to use or whatever.
It's a good guess, though.
You have to go get your meat in the back.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't
Might
know.
be a
What you
pretty
got?
bad
What
sign.
you got?
No more, John.
The one that I guessed earlier was the meat is way oversauced.
Way oversauced.
Oversauced.
Yeah, usually it's oversauced. It's hiding the dryness of the meat. It's
Or
hiding-
or maybe they're same thing with what you're guessing is their barbecue sauce is more famous than their meats.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's like, okay, so they don't have a smoker on site, so or they're only smoking meat like every 3 or 4 days, and so maybe the meat's kind of dried out, or maybe it's towards the end of its shelf life. That hey, let's go ahead and just warm it up, cover it in sauce, and it'll be good. Yeah. So this article that I pulled, and it's got like some pretty good heavy hitters. This is from Fox News. It's got Myron Mixon, a couple other guys that are in here chiming in. Yeah, number one on the list. You can't even see or smell the smoker. You know you're at a bad barbecue. I mean, just don't even.
Yeah, that'll make you nervous.
No,
you don't see smoke.
I went to one here here locally that they had the meat had a white texture to it. Brisket was about pale refrigerator white, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
It's boiled in.
They
Yeah.
boil the brisket.
They
first.
boil the brisket.
That sounds
Yeah.
fantastic.
It was disgusting.
So, like John mentioned earlier, number 2 on the list. There's sauce everywhere. Meaning they're just covering.
Yep. Yeah, it's a place that they sauce it for you. They don't even ask you, right? Do you want sauce? No, it's coming with sauce.
Number 3 on the list is the menu highlights the wrong things. So it says Tyson Ho, who focuses on traditional Carolina whole hog barbecue at his restaurant in Brooklyn, says he doesn't trust an eatery that focuses on too many regional styles of barbecue. He's like, if I walk into a barbecue joint and it has Texas brisket, Carolina pulled pork, Memphis ribs as a smorgasbord of styles, I simply just walk out.
Nice.
Because,
That's good.
I mean, you guys, you can't be a pro or master at all of those different styles of barbecue. I mean,
That's true.
Sure.
yeah.
I mean, could one be like if you're going there, during rush hour, and maybe dinner or lunch, and nobody's there? I mean, that could be a sign, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, empty place.
That's
Empty
any
place.
restaurant right there, though.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
restaurant you walk into during rush hour and it's empty.
Yeah, we live in Pearland, a subdivision of Houston, and I like what Pearland's doing, and I'm sure maybe a bunch of other cities and places are adopting this, but I guess would you say the health rating, the health code, or the inspector, or what? All these establishments have to post a grade rating on the front door of their restaurant, so you can see if they're really poor at their health violations and all that type of stuff, or really good.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's for sure, yeah. I know people look at that, too. I wanted to go to some restaurant the other day, and my wife said, they got a B in their health rating. I'm not going there. I'm like, a B is good. That's
Hey.
passing.
Yeah,
I got C's. You're still married to me.
graduated in my book. I mean, come on. So Myron Mixon goes on to tell Fox News that he avoids any barbecue joints that try to pass themselves off as whiskey taverns or breweries.
Yeah. Okay, I can get down with that as well.
Because if I'm looking for a great barbecue, I stay away from establishments that have 200 plus craft beers on tap or 100 different bourbons. He's like, you need to, as like in this place, the barbecue joint serves beverages, or the bar does, or the bar is serving a little barbecue, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, number 4 on the list, the restaurant uses flowery language. And simply what that means is they use phrases or words like fall off the bone, or you don't need teeth to eat our barbecue.
Is that a thing?
That is the thing. I've heard that one. You ain't need no teeth.
Yeah.
Barbecue's that good.
Yeah. It's like when you read the menu, and this is Mixon himself, it's like when you read a menu, it's like you don't need a description of smoked or barbecue in the description. I mean, basically it's like brisket, ribs. Like, you don't have to tell me it's smoked brisket, because if you're telling me it's smoked brisket, then I'm thinking something's up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you're just getting too colorful with language. And again, this is him saying it. You guys take it from a grain of salt and, whatever you guys think. The last but not least on this says the menu straight up ignores certain dishes. So I guess that leads me to believe that they get away from, like, the potato salads and the beans and what have you, and they get a little exotic, and they want to try to throw a little exotic, sides up there to kind of distract you a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I want to see all the sides, right? Beans,
Coleslaw.
coleslaw.
Potato salad.
Yeah, definitely.
Macaroni and cheese is the
Yeah,
must.
I'm not trying to see truffle butter, mash, asparagus topped with some type of, I don't know. I'm just not trying to see that, right? I mean,
That sounds awful.
it may sound really good. It's just not in my barbecue restaurant,
Mashed
guys.
asparagus?
So, yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. So,
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
I'll have two.
Okay, well, I mean, let's just go right into and dive into the topic of the pellet smokers. Let's get the gloves off, and let's get the debate going. I mean, do you guys think? Well, actually, before we get into that, let's go into a little brief history of pellet smokers.
yeah. So I think pellet smokers got their start by heating homes, right, in the basement up north, if I'm not mistaken there.
Yeah, that is
So
correct. I
probably
think it was
close to 25,
Traeger, right?
30 years ago.
Yeah, in like 1973.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of remembers that oil crisis that went along with. I guess that led into when was it where everybody was out standing in lines trying to get gasoline and all that type of stuff.
Right,
So,
80s.
A lot of people
Or
tried to
70s.
seek out like economical ways to heat their homes, and so one thing was brought about was these. What do you say, furnaces or boilers or whatever that was?
Furnace, yeah.
Furnace that ran off pellets. And a lot of these pellets were created out of like what they're called biomass. So it was just scraps. So not necessarily the pellets that we're accustomed to using from Traeger and B&B and all these guys. I mean, they're actually using hard woods that are compressed. Back then, they used this, I guess what they call black pellets or black fuel or biomass fuel, where they were just taking like husks of coconuts and different type of stuff and
Something that would burn.
Anything
something
that'll
that
burn,
will
it's not
something
gonna
that burn,
kill you.
and then you smash it together. Not necessarily gonna make your brisket taste.
Yeah, most of that stuff's not food safe.
No, not at all. So, and they would take all this stuff and they would basically turn this stuff into a big old, I guess like a mash. And I'm sure I'm probably gonna miss half the information or whatever. The wood pellets get like mashed up into this compound, and then it gets forced through a die, and it's something to do with we won't go into how all this stuff's made. I'm sure you guys are like, this is so boring, turn the channel, click next. Okay, so one interesting thing is like they had a huge problem with the dust that comes off these wood pellets that when they're creating it, probably not the hardwood stuff, but the one before, that they would have these dust explosions. So they had all these pellets that they'd be on shipping vessels or holding it somewhere. And it was very, very volatile. So one spark can just boom, it could just blow up a building. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I was like, holy shit.
It's like tannerite.
Yeah, it's the whole grain thing, right? Grains and
Yeah.
all that stuff's highly, highly, highly explosive. It leveled half of Galveston when ADM went off.
Anyways, okay, so Joe Traeger came up with the first wood burning pellet grill or smoker.
Okay.
So, and this is probably roughly like early 80s. And he came up with the patent for it, and he held this patent for like, I think probably 20 years. And it wasn't until here recently, probably in like 2000s, when you seen an explosion of other pellet grills. You start seeing other guys come into the market, whether it's, you name off
Rectech, Yoder.
Rectech, Yoder.
Yeah.
All these other guys started stepping into the picture and started offering different
Versions,
amenities
styles,
or different
yeah.
styles, different whatever. So they're all great in their own. They all offer their own little certain things or whatever. But that's a whole another episode. We'll get into discussing certain brands and which brands perform better. But for this topic, let's just go ahead and stick with the competition barbecue side of it, which is what we do. So what we love. Let me ask you guys a question. I mean, do you guys think that? And I'll go ahead and preface this by prior, like back in the day, they did not allow electric smokers or stuff that you had to plug in to be out at these cook-offs. Everything had to be wood burning. You had to use charcoal or wood. And so that eventually has kind of moved and transitioned into probably what we think is probably a gray area, because pellets themselves are compressed hardwoods. No denying that. I mean, your heat is coming from wood. My question is to you guys, do you guys think that's cheating? Do you think that should be allowed in these competitions?
Absolutely.
John, that's what you think? Really?
So it is.
we do this, right?
We have this conversation frequently.
I think the word cheating is probably the wrong word to say.
Yeah,
playing
for sure.
within the rules.
It is within
Yes,
the rules.
It's within the rules, and everybody can do it. Just elaborating on what John said earlier. Why are you so worried about these cookers coming out there with those types of grills if your meat's not better anyways? You know what I mean? So I see it as somebody, when they lose, they're like, well, it's because they were assisted because they didn't have to have somebody up, watching the fires and stuff like that. So I can kind of see your argument as well. As saying is like, hey, well, somebody has to be there. They should be there to maintain the fire. Anybody that can tell you, I'm sure you guys can elaborate on it. Is anybody that's just watching a wood burning pit has to be there to maintain it, correct? Right? But you get these other pits in there, that are going to feed themselves or whatever. They're well within the rules, man. And until they're not, it's something we're going to have to deal with at these cook-offs. So.
Yeah, I get that. I think, and I maybe you could even make the argument that you have to maintain the pellets in a
Sure.
Every like 4 hours or
For a
something,
little bit.
or 6 hours. You're out there putting pellets in. I guess that's barbecue, right? So I'm kind of conflicted on this, right? So we do utilize these type of pellet smokers on the weekend. They make great food, right? It's basically like a convection oven. Essentially, right? For the competition side, I personally have a different view. I I'm more of a hands-on. I want to be able to feed the fire. I want to be able to control the temperature by not turning a knob, which, by the way, is cheating. But that's okay. But I'm also a little bit jaded too, because we do have a big cook-off team, chasing more smoke. By the way, chasing more smoke. That we do have a few of these pellet grills, and we've actually utilized these during our cook-off, and we've done really well utilizing these type of cookers in our cook-off. We've actually had these cookers save our butt. It pains me to say that. When we couldn't control the temperature, we're having a hard time. We're fighting it. Finally, we were just basically no other choice but to pull this piece of meat and put it onto the pellet smoker and dial it in, right? Which, by the way, it came out so good, and I know we were like a top 5 finishing on that cook-off. So I'm kind of jaded, but if you ask my opinion on, I guess that's what you're asking, like, do I think they should be allowed in cook-offs? I'm still probably going to stick by my guns, and I'm going to say no. I don't think they should.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you still have to produce a good piece of meat. You got to season it right, stuff like that, right? I mean, it's just because you have a different type of pit that cooks differently doesn't mean it's necessarily going to make a better piece of meat.
No, you got to learn, right? You're learning how to cook on an oven. I don't know, John. What's your take on this?
Yeah, what do you think, John?
I think you know how I feel about it.
Yeah, come on, let's just dial this in real quick.
Okay, I'm not arguing that Traegers are difficult or anything. They're obviously so easy. Pellet grills in general. I'm going to say Traeger. That's just the word I'm using. I'm talking pellet grills in general. But if we're at a cook-off, I don't go. I mean, you can't argue that I go out there and say, "Hey, let's use the Traeger for the brisket this weekend." I don't do that. But if somebody's out there and wants to use their Traeger, let them use it. I mean, if you don't want them to, it feels to me like you're saying that they've got a leg up on you somehow. If they use their Traeger, like their Traeger is going to do better than our offset smoker. That's what it feels like you're saying.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying it's a leg up. I'm just saying it's
it's easier.
Well, I mean, to a certain extent, it is a little bit of an advantage, right?
It's an advantage, but is it? So when I think of smoking a piece of meat, I don't think of turning a knob and watching an auger spin around at so many revolutions to feed tiny little hardwood pellets into a heating element, which, by the way, this is what's happening inside. And then it's catching on fire, and then it goes into another pan where they just kind of burns. I mean, I don't know.
It's kind of one of those deals where everything's just adapting, man. And I think
it's evolving.
Everything's evolving, yes.
Yeah, and that's like, maybe there should be like pellet cook-offs. Like, doesn't Green Egg have a cook-off? And just do that. Show up and we all plug into the grid, right? And we could just, maybe get a couple blenders out, make some frozen drinks off our power, and just go to. Or maybe we just pull out go cut some trees down, let that wood cure for about 6 months. Then we're going to split it, and we're going to go out and, we're going to light it on fire and spend 8 hours chunking wood into a firebox. I get the difference, right? Once you're just putting wood into a firebox, it burns clean and just smells awesome. And
I love using an offset smoker. All I'm saying is,
well, let me ask you this question. Do you think it's hurting the sport in the concept of people aren't learning how to do the traditional wood fire barbecue?
I don't know. So I'm a little different. So I think
it's going to lead to people just losing that skills when they can I could just easily just roll up to Ace and pick up a Traeger, couple of clicks, and now I'm cooking a brisket.
So earlier you used the word pitmaster and pellet smoker in the same sentence, right? I think a pitmaster is a guy or a woman that they're cooking on any piece of equipment that they're given,
exactly,
and they're going to make awesome barbecue, right? That's a true pitmaster. But for me, I just have a certain style of cooking that I would like to perform, and I think it produces a better quality of barbecue, and that's going to be on the offset cooker.
Well, I think one thing that you didn't touch upon was your maintaining a fire. Your skill at lighting a fire, keeping it going, adding wood out.
For hours
on top of hours on top of hours. You don't get that same experience with the wood, the you know what I'm saying?
Pellet.
The pellet smoker.
No, you don't. But it's not about what skills do we learn today at the cook-off, right? Like, it's about just getting that call.
Okay, well,
That's
Exactly.
All, that's all that matters.
okay, but
Thank you.
I feel like I'm flip flopping
okay,
here.
well, maybe
Shit.
do you think people are probably maybe just jaded and a little pissed off that, hey, I got to man this freaking fire for 8 hours.
There are
and
people
while
out
you're
there
just
like
like turn a knob and you're in the RV, just catch some Z's and let me come out in a couple 4 hours and
A little spritzing.
do a little spritzing, wrap the brisket, and I'll see you in another 4 hours.
It's another deal, another subject we may get on, in the future is how, especially here in Texas, they're starting to give those kind of classes in school, in high school, is barbecue classes.
Mhm.
And I think that's solid, So, I mean, do they have an entry-level barbecue class to, offset smokers? Do they have one to, pellet smokers? I don't know what kind of classes they're giving. I just know they're doing it. But,
I think the class you're referring to, I think it was part of shop or whatever.
it's like a auto mech type, elective or something.
They fabricated their own.
That's
pits.
welding.
Yeah,
Sure.
they
That's
fabricated their own
They
pits.
make it, and then they learn
and then
to
they
cook
went
on
out and sought a competition, and they
Yeah.
got to compete using
Yeah.
their
Yes.
pit.
So I believe, right, that
Which is
Texas
pretty
starting to
badass, I
offer
mean.
like barbecuing classes as electives now in school, which I think
No,
is
that's
phenomenal, dude.
that's a welding class that they did.
I think I saw it, man, where they're trying
They
to
do a barbecue class.
as
Man,
an
that's
elective,
nice.
yeah, which would be cool, and I guarantee you they're going to learn on offset smokers. You know what I mean?
Shit, sign me up.
Right?
Yeah, where was that at?
Right.
I'm pretty sure I saw this. I mean, I may be wrong. So, guys, if y'all see something different, than what I read, correct me. But I don't know if it's just Texas, but they're offering, an elective like that, so which is pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. I think just to kind of probably recap on this thing, these pellet smokers are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. IBCA allows it.
That says KCBS, Lone Star.
So it's definitely. And here's the deal. Maybe it's a tool that I'm starting to see a lot more teams utilize. And if you're not utilizing all of your tools around you, then maybe you're kind of stuck in your own ways.
You're behind, for sure.
So I don't know.
And it's hard to actually realize and say, like, man, I'm being the old guy on the block. Don't get on my grass guy. You know what I mean? Like, man, sometimes I guess we all just need to, for lack of a better word, just learn how to go with the times, because everything's changing. You know what I mean? Everything changes. I mean, everything changes in sports. Rules change all the time. They're trying to change rules every year. So barbecue is not left out of that equation as far as just changing rules and stuff like that. So
No. I mean, like even what Meyer Mixon has his H2O, the water, gravity fed water smoker. Basically, is what he has. It's essentially a type of wood pellet smoker that with a huge water hose or water pan or
Yeah, they're always creating something new.
yeah. So
Yeah, I'm not all too familiar with that one.
no, it's pretty new in the market for him, I think. But it's I don't know. It's like all stainless steel. It's pretty nice, but I don't think it's for me. So.
Have you seen the Traegers?
No, have not seen Traegers. Yeah, actually, I looked at a couple. We have actually a buddy that's got the Yoder, the YS640. I'm going to rep that real quick. If y'all want to send me one, I would love to demo it. They are built to last. The door's got a counterweight on it. If it tells you anything. So
means they're built very well, very smartly built.
It's heavy duty.
Yeah, that's nice.
Awesome. Well, I guess we could just agree to disagree. Is that where we left it off, or are we agreeing to agree?
I think we probably agreed to agree, right? It's here. It's just not my preference, which I love. I love throwing the jabs and the haymakers every once in a while when somebody dials one in, and I kind of make a joke or laugh about it. But
and they're not bad arguments, man, because there's a lot more people than just you having those arguments. You know
no,
what I
without
mean?
a doubt.
So,
All right, guys, we like to finish up this podcast by telling some of our favorite barbecue war stories, or telling some of our most notable pit fails, or get it into freaking, I don't know, barbecue weird stories or whatever it is. But I'll start right off the bat. I'll go one of my pit fails. This is probably more of a pit fail on John, but I'll go ahead and start the story. I'll let him. He'll start the story.
our very
And I'll kinda
own
jump
John. All right.
in. So we had this catering gig that we had probably about, I don't know, it's probably about a 30-minute drive from where we're currently reside at. And so we got everything cooked, loaded up into Cambro. I mean, everything was good to go, ready to go. John. Well, go ahead, John.
Well, we were taking the pit down there because we were gonna do some was it sausage or something when we got down there on the pit.
We figured it'd be good to go ahead and light that pit up and just get that smoke rolling, and people start smelling the smoke. They're like, oh shit, I want some barbecue, and we'll draw them in.
Yeah. So anyway, that morning I thought I was helping out or whatever, so I decided to go ahead and clean out the firebox. I had on my dragon knuckle gloves, so I couldn't feel any heat. So there was I think one log left in there, so I kind of took it out and just set it to the side, still on the pit, but kind of off to the side. And cleaned it out or whatever, closed it up. We head off down there. On the way down there, we decided, better stop at the store and get a couple loaves of bread. I run into the store.
Yeah, I'm driving. I'm pulling the pit around, so I pull up to the front of Walmart. He runs inside to get a couple of loaves of bread. And so as I'm driving around the parking lot, I see a couple of little puffs of smoke. In the back of my mind, I'm seeing it. I'm like, man, that's just ash. That's just ash from the firebox just kind of kicking up a little bit. No big deal. And
Not
so
ash.
I get to the very back of Walmart, the parking lot to where I can park. And I'm sitting there, and I look at my rearview mirror, and I see a pretty big puff of smoke, and I'm like, that's weird. I think I probably should just get out and investigate that, because that just doesn't seem right. So I get out, and I'm like, I really smell, I smell smoke. I smell barbecue. And then I get up closer to the firebox, and I open it up, and there's nothing in there. I'm like, well, what's going on here?
But was the firebox very clean?
The firebox was very clean. But upon further inspection, I can notice a piece of wood that is on fire, actually, and it's lit another piece of wood on fire.
You left the thing that was on fire in there.
Yeah, it was full blown ablaze on fire, and I'm like, holy shit! I'm searching around for the dragon knuckles, as John's
gloves
saying. Yeah, and I'm like, I need to contain this fire, because I mean, half the pit's made of wood, and then it's sitting, and then it has probably like an eighth of a cord of wood sitting on it. I'm like, man, we need to contain this guy. So I grabbed it was probably 2 logs that was well lit, throw it in the firebox, boom, it just catches, it just starts smoke rolling right away. And then I get in the truck, and I'm like waiting on John to come, and next thing he comes rolling up, he's like, what'd you say?
I don't remember what my
Did you start the barbecue pit? I was like, no, John, you did that by taking out wood that was still currently lit and throw it inside of the pit.
It wasn't lit. It was. There must have been some smolder, obviously, that I didn't feel.
He's trying to defend himself.
And the wind, the air, the drive reignited.
Yeah,
But let's be honest here. I saved us a ton of time when we got there trying to light the pit. Like, I saved us at least an hour.
That is true.
It was already lit when we got there.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
right. So it's
Was it really a fail? I don't feel like that's a fail. I feel like it's a barbecue win.
so what you're
Could have
saying
been a
is
fail. Could have been very disastrous.
So what you're saying is light your barbecue wood at home, then throw it on the pit, not in the pit, on the pit.
Yeah, or in the bed of your truck.
And
It's
drive
fine.
to your barbecue cook-off.
50 miles
then
an hour. That's
pull
all.
it
That's all
out.
the wind you need.
Basically,
You
you
have
hit
to
a
blow on at
2
that
foot
point.
by let's say you hit a 2.5 foot or 2 foot by 6 inch or 8 inch piece of charcoal. That's what you had. They just heated up.
Exactly. Don't do this.
Yeah, do not.
I was joking to do
do
that.
not do what John does.
Do not do that. Do not throw it in the bed of your truck. I was a joke.
Yeah. Just leave it in the pit where it's nice and locked up and secure.
That's great.
It's a
Metal don't
disclaimer. It's a
burn.
good disclaimer, man. I feel like you need to go ahead and
Yeah.
make that known.
And
I'm a
I'll-
professional.
I'll go ahead and throw in there as like we would love to hear you guys' stories as far as your pit fails, as far as your barbecue war stories, any and everything that you guys want to discuss, or you want us to talk about, or you want us to do a little research or blah blah blah, whatever.
Sure.
Let us know.
In light of our holiday coming up, we do not allow John to drive to Walmart with fireworks in the bed of his truck or
right.
on a trailer. So
Send us your emails at grabinthebrisket@gmail.com. That's GRABEM in the brisket.com.
Yeah, or you can reach out to us and hit us on.
I just gave you, it's like I had web address. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's at gmail.com.
Yeah,
I feel like when you tell them is that
Brisket
that's
at
not the-
gmail.com.
that's not the letter N, or is it IN? Because they
guys,
probably don't know that
IN.
either.
Yep.
Okay.
So I totally appreciate this. I've had a great time. This is round number 2. I'm looking forward to like 50 more of these things, I think.
Yeah. You can also, same thing, send your story. Send them to us on Instagram or Twitter. On Twitter, it's just, Grab the Brisket, at Grab the Brisket.
At Grab the Brisket. Yeah, I think
We'll put up a post or something about it.
Yeah, we'll put a post up of it, and hopefully, I guess we'll go through them and read them and try to pick out the best one or best couple of the ones that we think, and we probably send a T-shirt out to the ones that we pick.
Heck yeah. One
Awesome.
of our logo shirts.
Hell yeah!
Nice.
All right. Well, hey, I enjoyed it, guys.
Hey, thanks. Hey,
Yeah.
cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Till
Well-
next time.
Till next time.
Let's do it again.
Cheers to the next barbecue fears, man.
Yeah. Later, guys.